Hi. I recently had the extreme pleasure of interviewing stand-up comedian and author Greg Behrendt. You'd know him from being a writer on Sex and the City, and then after that he went to write a book called He's Just Not That Into You, which got turned into a film. Anyway, Greg is an absolute gentleman. He was a real pleasure to talk to. I really hope you enjoy the interview. And Mum, if you're watching, pay attention to the part where he's talking about how supportive his parents are about his comedy. So.
Hello?
Greg.
Yes.
Hi, Greg. How's it going? This is Jeeves, and I've got Serena here with me.
Hi.
Thank you so much for taking the time to interview with us.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just a little bit flustered at the moment, to be honest, because I'm a huge fan.
Oh, that's very nice of you to say. Don't be flustered. It'll be, by the end of this, you'll just be disappointed.
Oh, okay. I'm already calm.
There you go.
First thing I wanted to ask you, actually, Greg, was about Walking the Room.
Yeah.
Now, so that kind of ended last year, didn't it?
Yes.
And but I hear you've got a reunion plan for the Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
Yeah, we're doing our 25-year reunion, which is odd because it split up last year.
Yeah.
So we haven't been apart for 25 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But we're getting back together after 25 years and having a podcast reunion.
That's fantastic. That is,
it's exciting. So we haven't seen each other in 25 years, so it's going to be really great.
That is amazing. Who's going to be on the show, can we know?
Right now, we don't know.
Okay.
And that is fair, and that is honest. If I had a name for you, I would honestly give it to you, but we don't know. I'm not even positive I'm going to show up.
Okay.
It really depends. I may just go do something solo, but right now it is supposed to be just Dave and I.
Ah, fantastic. So it's just going to be the one podcast, isn't it? Or it's not a relaunch, is it?
No, it's just going to be the one podcast. I don't think we're going to go. I think this will be it. I think everybody kind of wanted one last, sort of revisit, and Dave felt like this would be the thing to do. This was his idea.
Yeah.
I had wanted to do just a play. I had wanted us to do just sort of, or maybe just do an art installation.
Yeah.
But he suggested just do one more podcast, and so that was what we landed on.
Fantastic. So it's a bit of a walking out of the room sort of podcast.
Yeah, we sort of walk out of the room. We'll walk into the room, probably do the show, and then we'll leave.
Yes, certainly.
The thing, truly, sincerely, it just, we both sat down last week and had lunch and just said, it was kind of perfect the way it ended, and some things just need to just be what they are. So. Yeah. We think this will probably just be it, which will upset a lot of the American fans that they won't be here. But they're lovely people, but they are little bitches.
Okay. Greg, so we're extremely excited that you've got a show as part of the Sydney Comedy Festival.
Yeah.
I Am the King Sweater.
Yes.
Tell us what we can expect from that.
Well, it is it's a part of my career that I have yet to discuss because I wasn't able to prove it until now. But I spent 2 years from 1985 to 1987 in Japan as a rockabilly star and a little bit of a cosmetics icon.
Yeah.
Men's cosmetics.
Wow. Yeah.
Although there are people in the music industry who will contest that, and also members of my family. But in January of this year, I was mailed back the masters to a song that I recorded called Cake Box, a guitar and a poster from the original tour. Although my psychiatrist said I could have also mailed them to myself. So that's what the show is about. Is about the time I spent in Japan as playing rockabilly.
That's fantastic. Just about, so you are a rockabilly at heart, true and true. Actually, so what are your favorite bands? What do you like listening to yourself?
Oh God, it's just too. It's just like, what day is it? Like, it's just too numerous to. Like really, truly, like I couldn't.
Yeah.
It's so hard to even begin to say. You know, like I
Yeah.
guess I would. You know, I mean, it starts and ends. You know, with the Clash, I suppose.
Oh wow, yeah, cool, good choice.
I mean,
yeah.
you know, like the Clash sort of encapsulates all of it because they have a little bit of all of that. You know, there's a little surf, a little reggae, a little ska, a little punk.
Fantastic.
You know,
Yeah.
so they would encapsulate all of it. But you know.
And
I mean, I was a big fan of Australian rock when I was in college.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
You know, I was a big. I mean, well, when I was a kid, it was cool to like the Hoodoo Gurus.
Yeah, yeah, good.
You know, they were like they were exotic for us because there wasn't anything like them. You know, and I like the Church and the Triffids and all that kind of stuff. And then you know, and I still like. Obviously I would like something like The Living End, that kind of thing.
Fantastic. I love your music choice, Greg.
Thank you.
Now moving way back, throwback to your graduation. It is Thursday, so Throwback Thursday. Why did you suddenly want to be a comedian? I mean, you majored in business, so why did you want to become a comedian?
I didn't really. I had just run out of options, and it's the only skill that I slightly possess. So I truly was running out of things to do, and I was in an improv group, and the improv group was kind of failing, and Margaret Cho was in the group, and she said, you know, you ought to give stand-up a shot. And I said, are you kicking me out of the group? Because I feel like that feels not like being in an improv group. And and she said, no, it's just really fun. You should do it. You'd probably be good at it. And I took her advice. And here we are.
She was right.
Yeah.
And I'd had other people suggest it, including my own family. My mom had always suggested it, but it just was, all of my friends and family growing up were funny, if not funnier than me. So I never saw it as a skill set or something that I was better than other people at. Which I still don't think I'm better than other people, but I guess I possess the one extra step, which is to go up and do it into a microphone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are there any particular experiences in your life, whether like personal or work related, that helped to get you where you are now? Because you're an extremely successful person.
Oh gosh, I don't know if I'm about like that. I mean, my motto is just keep going.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like don't stick to just one thing. You know what I mean? Like I think part if I've had any success, it's just to continually try new things. You know, don't get stuck just doing the one thing, you know, otherwise I'd be a failed relationship author at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just keep swimming, like Dory used to say, right? And finding
well, the thing is it like your life isn't about one thing. And as you get older, you realize this isn't about accomplishing one thing or being famous for something. This is just about trying a bunch of shit and trying to have as much fun with it as you can while trying to support my family. Mm-hmm. And my adventures have taken me, I didn't expect to be a guy who would be popular enough to keep coming back to Australia, and I also didn't expect to end up sitting next to Oprah. So my life has been like a series of little adventures. And that's more important to me than being famous or, you know what I mean? Like that stuff's dumb. But the travel and the meeting interesting people and getting to wear a pink suit, that stuff's exciting.
Yeah.
Greg, tell us about one particular adventure that you've had. Your book, He's Just Not That Into You. How did that come about?
The books, the main thing that when we're writing them with especially the books that I've written with my wife, are like to just constantly remind ourselves that we're not meant to be relationship experts, that we're just two people who are like the people who read our books, and our goal is just to be honest and tell somebody what you would tell a friend. And also to say to the friend, hey, by the way, I'm just another person, but my experience has been this. If you're dating a guy and he's married to somebody else, he's probably the worst guy to go out with. You know what I mean? Like really, truly, like, and I'm just going to say that to you as a friend, and I'm going to say it exactly like that, and it's only going to be 2 pages instead of 50, and then let's move on to the next thing. That's sort of the way we do our books. Like we're working on a book right now called How to Keep Your Marriage from Sucking.
Oh, okay.
And the byline is from 2 people whose marriage has at times really fucking sucked. Because marriages are imperfect, and they're epic journeys, just like what I was talking about, and they can suck, and people should know that they can suck, But if you hang through the suckage, the thing you come out on the other end is that there can be glorious too, and way worth it, you know. So, or at least my experience has been that.
Thanks for leading into that. Actually, the next question was: is there another book coming out? And what was the title of the book again?
How to Keep Your Marriage from Sucking.
That's absolutely fantastic. So this would be, I'd say, book number 4.5?
Yeah, well, you know, they're doing them differently now because of the internet. So our last book came out digital only, but it did well enough that they actually went and started printing them. And that one was called Just a Fucking Date.
It's Just a Fucking Date, yeah.
And this one is going to come out they're going to publish it in 10 little mini books.
Right.
So the first chapter of it, which is the engagement, because it's all about marriage, will come out in June digitally, and there'll be 10 chapters that are probably about 10 to 20,000 words long.
That's fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, and so I guess that's the way books are going to come out now.
Okay, yeah.
You know.
So is this one, I mean, the other ones seem to be targeted at a female audience.
Yes.
Is this one something similar?
No, this will be the first time where it'll be. I mean, our audience is mostly female anyway, just because that's the way it's been, and men don't generally tend to pick up these kind of books.
I think, Greg, you'll find that we do secretly.
I have, as the years have gone on, and as men have evolved, that has been the case, and also this book definitely. I mean, the engagement chapter is really mostly towards dudes because in most cases men are expected to make the engagement. So there'll be a lot in here for men because why would I write about what it's like to be married as a woman? That's
fantastic. I, for one, am looking forward to this, especially for the advice.
Yeah, it's funny, and this one's pretty dark and pretty funny. I mean, I was really happy with we just finished the first book and we started on the second one, and or the first chapter or installment or whatever, and I really like it. It's very personal.
Yeah.
I screwed up our engagement. Our engagement was horrible.
Yeah.
I did it really poorly, and it's really personal and really funny and really like. If after you read this, if you're about to get engaged, you will not fuck it up because I fucked it up so badly that there's just no way you'll fuck it up. So I feel like the information in this book is really going to be good, and I'm kind of excited about it. Where usually I'm kind of ambivalent about our books.
Yeah,
I have been in the last couple of years, but I'm really excited about this one.
We are too. We're looking forward to it.
I appreciate that.
I just wanted to ask you another thing, Greg. This is about the Sydney Comedy Festival now. Just because we're running a little bit short of time.
Yeah, no problem.
So there's another show in the Sydney Comedy Festival, the title of which seems to refer to your book. Are you aware of this?
No.
It's. I'm going to tell you now that it's my show.
Oh yeah.
The title of my show is "He's Just Not That Indian," and so I'm a little bit ethnic, and. Anyway, in the same way that your book is a self-help article on for women dealing on men, my show is a self-help book for Indian mothers on how to deal with their comedian sons.
That's amazing.
And I was wondering if it was... so we had a question about when it was that the first time you thought to yourself, I'm going to make it in comedy as a career, and just how your parents were with that.
My parents loved it. My parents grew up going. My parents were of the Mad Men era. Like that's if you can. My parents were about that age, and they were like that kind of hip.
Yeah.
That was like that was who they were, and they grew up in San Francisco. So they were not music people. So they did not care about the Beatles or Elvis, that kind of thing. My parents went to see comedy at the Hungry Eye and at the Purple Onion, and so they saw Phyllis Diller and Bill Cosby and Bob Newhart and all those people. So they loved comedy. So when I started doing it, they were down with it. They were down with the program, and they also knew that I was a hopeless human being otherwise. So they were really, really happy that I did it. And the last place my mom saw me do comedy before she passed away was the same place she saw Phyllis Diller do comedy. Which was the Purple Onion. So it was really kind of cool. Yeah. So they liked it. So I'm sort of I'm the exception to the rule for most comics.
Oh yeah, I love that.
So So now that your parents have supported you, do you support your beautiful daughters in pursuing comedy as well?
Well, if they decide to do it, which they might, because they're both obsessed with comedy. I mean, they're both right now. They're both high competitive dancers. They're 10 and 13, and they dance competitively. And they're both very good at it.
Wow,
Yeah.
But they come home and all they care about is Portlandia and Kristen Wiig. That's all they care about. They love comedy, Saturday Night Live, and there's so many great women right now in comedy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the women in comedy right now are just crushing it, and it's really exciting.
Yeah, we have some really talented female comics here in Australia, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. It's like, it literally is like women are just crushing it in comedy, and it's super exciting. And so yeah, I would be happy if they went into comedy. I don't care what they do, just as long as they throw themselves into it. Because quite honestly, there's no careers for anybody out there anymore. So who cares?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Greg Behrendt, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. Your show, I Am the King Sweater, on at the Comedy Store, April 23rd, 7 p.m. I guess we'll see you there, Greg.
Sounds good. I look forward to it, guys.
Cheers. Thanks so much, Greg.
Thank you so much.
All right, man. Talk later.
Ta. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, this is Greg Behrendt, and you should definitely go see Jeeves' show.